Greek mythology, Dionysus and Demeter. Dionysus, he is the god of wine, represents ecstasy and chaos, theater, madness, and depicted with followers like satyrs and maenads. On the other hand, Demeter, the goddess of harvest, agriculture, associated with grain and crops, represents nurturing, sustenance, and the natural world. They are connected to the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. They have connections to nature, agriculture, and fertility. Demeter was the Olympian goddess of agriculture, grain, and bread, who sustained mankind with the earth's rich bounty. She presided over the foremost of the mystery codes, which promised its initiate the path to a blessed afterlife in the realm of Elysium. Demeter was depicted as a mature woman, often wearing a crown and bearing sheaves of wheat, or a cornucopia, and a torch. Demeter is one of the great divinities of the Greeks. Though name Demeter is supposed by some to be the same as Demeter, that is, Mother Earth, while others consider Dio, which is synonymous with Demeter, as connected with Dice and Dynami, and as derived from the Cretan word Dei, barley, so that Demeter would be the mother or giver of barley, or of food generally. Demeter was the daughter of Kronos and Rhea, and sister of Hestia, Hera, Hades, Poseidon, and Zeus. Like the other children of Kronos, she was devoured by her father, but he gave her forth again after taking the emetic which Metis had given him. By her brother Zeus, Demeter became the mother of Persephone. The most prominent part in the mythos of Demeter is the rape of her daughter Persephone by Pluto. And this story not only suggests the main idea embodied in Demeter, but also directs our attention to the principal seats of her worship. Zeus, without the knowledge of Demeter, had promised Persephone to Pluto. And while the unsuspecting maiden was gathering flowers which Zeus had caused to grow in order to tempt her and to favor Pluto's scheme, the earth suddenly opened, and she was carried off by Hades. Her cries of anguish were heard only by Hecate and Helios. Her mother, who heard only the echo of her voice, immediately set out in search of her daughter. Demeter wandered about in search of her daughter for 9 days, without taking any nectar or ambrosia, and without bathing. On the 10th, she met Hecate, who told her that she had heard the cries of Persephone did not know who had carried her off. Both then hastened to Helios, who revealed to them that Pluto had been the ravisher, and with the consent of Zeus. Demeter, in her anger at this news, avoided Olympus and dwelt upon earth among men, conferring presents and blessings whenever she was kindly received, and severely punishing those who repulsed her or did not receive her gifts with proper reverence. In this manner she came to Celeus at Eleusis, as the goddess still continued in her anger and produced famine on the earth by not allowing the fields to produce any fruit. Zeus, anxious that the race of mortals should not become extinct, she sent Ares to induce Demeter to return to Olympus. At length, Zeus sent out all the gods of Olympus to conciliate her by entreaties and presents. But she vowed not to return to Olympus, nor to restore the fertility of the earth, till she had seen her daughter again. Zeus accordingly sent Hermes into Erebus to fetch back Persephone. Hades consented indeed to Persephone returning, but gave her a part of a pomegranate in order that she might not always remain with Demeter. Hermes took her in Pluto's chariot to Eleusis to her mother, to whom after a hearty welcome she related her fate. At Eleusis, both were joined by Hecate, who henceforth remained the attendant and companion of Persephone. Zeus now sent Rhea to persuade Demeter to return to Olympus, and also granted that Persephone should spend only a part of the year in subterraneous darkness, and that during the rest of the year she should remain with her mother. Rhea accordingly descended to the Rhodian plain near Eleusis and conciliated Demeter, who now again allowed the fruits of the fields to grow. But before she parted from Eleusis, she instructed Triptolemus, Diocles, Eumolpus, and Celeus in the mode of her worship and in the mysteries. The mythos of Demeter and her daughter embodies the idea that the productive powers of the earth or nature are concealed during the winter season. The goddess then rose in the depth of the earth mournful, but striving upwards to the all-animating light. Persephone, who has eaten of the pomegranate, is the fructified flower that returns in spring, dwells in the region of light during a portion of the year, and nourishes men and animals with her fruits. Dyonisus, the god of wine, revelry, theater, and ecstasy, has one of the most captivating and multifaceted stories in Greek mythology. Dionysus was born to Zeus, the king of the gods, and Semele, a mortal woman, and a daughter of King Cadmus of Thebes. Semele caught the eye of Zeus, and they fell deeply in love. However, Zeus' wife Hera was furious when she discovered the affair. To punish Semele, Hera disguised herself as a trusted friend and sowed seeds of doubt in Semele's mind, suggesting that perhaps her lover was not truly Zeus, but an impostor. Convinced by Hera's word, Semele asked Zeus to reveal himself in his full divine form as proof of his identity. Zeus bound his promise to grant her anything she wished, reluctantly agreed. He appeared to her in his true godly form, with thunder and lightning. Being a mortal, Semele could not withstand the overwhelming sight and was consumed by the divine fire. However, Zeus managed to save the unborn Dionysus from Semele's womb by sewing him into his own thigh. After several months, Dionysus was born for the second time, fully divine. This unique birth earned Dionysus the title of the twice-born god. To protect the child from Hera's wrath, Zeus entrusted baby Dionysus to the care of Hermes, the messenger god. Hermes took Dionysus to be raised by Ino, Semele's sister, and Athamas, her husband. However, Hera's jealousy continued to endanger Dionysus. So Hermes disguised him as a girl and hid him among the nymphs of Mount Nysa. In this magical realm, Dionysus was nurtured by the nymphs and learned the secrets of nature, including the art of winemaking. He discovered the intoxicating power of the grapevine and how it could bring both joy and madness. As he grew, Dionysus became the embodiment of nature's duality, life and death, joy and chaos, intoxication and clarity. Despite his peaceful upbringing, Hera eventually found him. She cursed him with madness, driving him to wander the earth in a stage of delirium. Dionysus roamed far and wide, traveling to Egypt, Syria, Phrygia, and other lands in the east. During his travels, he encountered several notable figures, including great mother goddess Semele, who cured his madness and initiated him into her mysteries. After gaining his sanity, Dionysus continued to travel, spreading the cultivation of the vine and the secrets of winemaking. He amassed followers, many of whom were women as Maenads or Bacchantes, who worship him with ecstatic rituals, dances, and songs. In Thrace, King Lycurgus opposed Dionysus and his court, driving them out of his kingdom. In retaliation, Dionysus cursed Lycurgus with madness, causing the king to kill his own family. Later, the god struck Lycurgus blind, and he eventually died as punishment for defying the god. In one of his more famous adventures, Dionysus was captured by a group of pirates who mistook him for a rich prize. They intended to sell him into slavery. However, Dionysus turned the tables on them. The ropes they used to blind him miraculously turned into vines, and the ship was filled with wine. Dionysus' life occurred in his birthplace of Thebes. His cousin, King Pythias, refused to acknowledge Dionysus' divinity and tried to suppress his cult. In revenge, Dionysus lured Pythias to a mountainside where his Bacchanal followers, including Pythias' own mother, were engaged in frenzied worship. In their madness, they mistook Pythias for a wild animal and tore him apart. Dionysus was not only a god of life and revelry, but also had a deep connection with death and the afterlife. One of his key myths involves his descendant into the underworld to rescue his mother, Semele. After proving his godhood on earth, Dionysus descended to the underworld and begged Hades, the god of the dead, to release Semele. With his powers and persuasion, Dionysus succeeded and brought Semele to Mount Olympus, where she was transformed into a goddess under the name Thyone. This act highlights Dionysus' role in the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Dionysus eventually found love in Ariadne, the daughter of King Minos of Crete. Abandoned by the hero Theseus on the island of Naxos after helping him escape the labyrinth, Ariadne was found by Dionysus. He fell in love with her and they married. Dionysus later made her immortal, and their union was considered one of the happiest in Greek mythology. Dionysus' influence extended beyond mythology into the cultural and religious practices of ancient Greece. He was the patron of the theatre, and the city Dionysia festival in Athens was held in his honor. Dionysus was also a symbol of ecstasy, madness, and the breathtaking of societal norms. His followers, particularly the Maenads, worshipped him through ecstatic dances and rituals that blurred the lines between order and chaos, civilization and nature. Dionysus' story is one of contrast. He is both a bringer of joy and madness, a figure of life and death, a god who can be both gentle and terrifying. His mythology reflects the duality of human nature, showing how the line between celebration and destruction, reason and madness is often thin. Yet, through it all, Dionysus remains a god of profound transformation, reminding humanity of the cyclical nature of existence. Demeter and Dionysus shared commonalities in their deep connections to nature, agriculture, and fertility. Both deities symbolize the cycles of life, death, and rebirth, reflecting seasonal changes and the natural world. They were worshipped through ecstatic rituals and festivals that celebrated growth, renewal, and transformation. Additionally, both gods influence human experience by representing the duality of joy and the sorrow, and they embody the forces of nourishment and emotional release in life.